On May 31st, 2013, an exceptionally large and powerful tornado formed near El Reno, Oklahoma. Up to 2.6 miles in diameter, this tornado produced winds near 300 miles per hour, ranking with some of the most intense tornadoes in history.
I'm getting nervous.
I am too. There's terrible.
Oh my god.
I'm just going south, so just stay away from me.
You got it. Okay, we got a big traffic jam ahead of us. This is ridiculous.
What the hell are all these people out here driving for?
7:10, we're going south on Highway 4, traffic jam. Holy crap. It's like a concert just let out. It's people fleeing. Rotating rain curtains around us. South on Highway 4, looks like we're kind of in maybe possibly a new circulation. Stuck in traffic, people going on the flipping shoulders like they shouldn't be doing, which is causing a bigger traffic jam. Yep, another one going down the shoulder. There goes another one, and another one.
South of OU University, probably about 3 or 4 miles, but you're looking at 77 there, and it's just a parking lot. So if we have anything out west that is moving to the east here, this is just unbelievable. I mean, that is 77. That is just solid headlights.
This is why you do not escape a tornado in your car. Wall cloud. Approaching this area. This road has been closed due to construction, but people just don't seem to care. And they're backed up there. They are now vulnerable.
There's like a little dirt thing going around, but it takes like one at a time, and they can't do it like all these people at once. Well, the other thing
On May 20th, a rare EF5 tornado ravaged Moore, Oklahoma, a suburb of Oklahoma City. This tornado took the lives of over 20 people and left hundreds injured.
On Sunday, May 19th, here's the track map. Multiple tornadoes touched down. Most of the supercells were traversing Norman. I think just about everybody had some kind of roof damage. So the storms went up in Norman, crossed Lake Thunderbird. I think that's when it got on the TV. Went through Shawnee, but notice it clipped Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is this weird conglomerate of space, and so even the Oklahoma City emergency manager had to go down and survey that teeny tiny portion of that county. But remember, this happened on Sunday, so the survey occurs the day after. So even on the day after, they were busy going down there to do their thing.
And that was an EF4 tornado there in the Norman-Shawnee tornado. The one up north, east of Edmond, was an EF3. So these were significant, substantial tornadoes, and there were 2 fatalities on this day.
Joe?
And so just as a reminder, we're still talking here about the day before the Moore tornado hit. And in addition to the tornadoes that hit in the OKC metro, there were also tornadoes that touched down that day in Kansas, Iowa, Minnesota, and Missouri. And so I'm going to show you here just a little bit about what the social media traffic looked like, what Twitter was saying. All the data that I'm going to talk about today is based on a data set that we put together that contains tweets that include the word tornado. Throughout the spring tornado season, we started collecting these things in 2011. During the course of this couple-day period that we're talking about, we collected something on the order of 1.5 to 1.8 million tweets. And I'm trying my best to kind of like to narrow those in a way that I can sort of show you what people were talking about. First, just to give you an idea, on Sunday, May 19th, we collected 158,580 tweets. They were published at a rate of about 55 per minute. 87% of those tweets were published by individual users like me. 8% were published by organizations like OU Norman. The top tweet that day, the tweet that was retweeted the most, of the tweets in our database was a large, extremely dangerous tornado reported near Wichita, Mid-Continent Airport near Wichita, Kansas. And as I said, there was a tornado that approached the Wichita metro that day. This map here just gives you a brief look at where the tweets came from on that day. And just to point out, that yellow triangle is where the Moore, Oklahoma tornado touched down. I want to give you some perspective on where these things are relative to tornado that day. As you can see, they track pretty well with where the severe weather occurred on that day. On the right is a word cloud, which just gives you a very, very brief indication of the most sort of popular words that appeared in those tweets that day. And it should be no surprise that we're seeing words like warning, watch, now, near, Kansas, Wichita, weather, Shawnee, which is where the tornado in Norman hit down, and then Norman all the way at the very top, but relatively small.
Well, obviously the warnings were very important. I think the most important information we provided this day was in this time frame, from in this midnight to noon time frame. The information that had the most impacts, that helped decision makers the most, according to what we heard, came in this time. That was in the form of social media. That tweet that you see right there, I think I sent that before I even went to the office. I think I was sitting at the kitchen table and I sent that tweet that morning, just based on what I knew at that point, that it was going to be earlier. The key thing on this Monday, May 20th, was the storms were not going to happen when they usually do in Oklahoma, between 4 and 6. These were going to happen between 1 and 4, or 2 and 4. So that's a whole different thing. When it's a Monday, people are at work, people are at school. So that was our theme of the day. We really hit that hard. The email that you see below is the email that I sent out to my emergency management list. At that time, it was about 400 people maybe. Now it's up over 600. Lots of people want emails now for some reason. But that's an email list that we send. I don't send one every day. It's just when it's something big is going to happen. We think something big is going to happen. It's plain language. It just describes what we think is going to happen. And this really got people's attention. Every Monday morning at 10 o'clock, we do a weekly briefing for emergency managers. So we did it. We would have done one anyway had we not been doing routine briefings, but we did a conference call / webinar with our emergency management public safety list. We did some special graphics. We kind of had a huddle in the office about 8:30 that morning and said, okay, do we see any reason this is not going to happen? We had high confidence, and so we set about, okay, I want a graphic that shows the expected storm development time and areas. So we put those together. We had this conference call. The bottom right-hand image is the city manager, the fire chief, and the assistant fire chief for the city of Moore sitting in on that conference call at 10 a.m. And they would be very...
Okay, so it's back to me. So again, we're still talking about this morning. At this period of time on social media, traffic dwindled from about 55 tweets per minute to 27 tweets per minute that contained the word tornado. There was a bit of a shift. Now there were slightly fewer individuals like me talking and more organizations like Rick talking about tornadoes on the morning of. But not all of the tweets that were coming out that morning were sort of much closer to the mid Oklahoma area, central Oklahoma area, in comparison to the previous day. As you can see by this word cloud, we've now shifted. And somewhat, you still see remnants. You still see things like Kansas and Wichita and Shawnee. You still see this discussion of what's going on there. There's still obviously warning, watch, now. So in a lot of ways, this word cloud looks quite similar to the word cloud the previous day, which sort of indicates that on Twitter, people were largely talking about the events that had happened the previous day.
The city of Oklahoma City was doing their preliminary damage assessment, and basically they finished their part of their damage assessment as the storm was forming that produced the Newcastle, Oklahoma City Moore tornado. And so their emergency manager had been in the field all morning and essentially came right back to the office to begin directing their operations. And the governor who was out visiting was also pulled back in, and some other resources were pulled back in from the response to the 19th to begin to get ready for the 20th.
Again, we have
remember talking now about the afternoon in comparison to the morning. We see that Twitter traffic picked up from a rate of about 27 tweets per minute now to 74 tweets per minute. We see again, though, that it's mostly individuals, but proportionally more organizations than we generally see. So you see more organizations like Rick and OU Norman talking now about tornadoes on social media. You again see this concentration of tweets geographically, sort of more concentrated in the Oklahoma area, the central Oklahoma area. It obviously gets out of there. The top tweet at this time shifted from the events that had happened to the day before, now to what was going on now. It says a tornado watch will be issued soon for much of Oklahoma. Stay alert. And if I'm not mistaken, that was probably OU Norman that put that tweet out, and that was retweeted. I think hundreds, if not almost 1,000 times that day. Now, if I could just direct your attention to the word cloud, we see here a slightly different pattern where you're not seeing words like Kansas as big, Shawnee as big. We're now seeing a lot of discussion of this watch product that was about to be issued, and I believe was issued during this time period.
Yeah, I think the watch was issued.